Hello, everyone. Harold here. You could be eating something every morning that's secretly harming your heart. I did, until I almost died a second time. A wonderful food, full of good fats that help protect my heart health and keep my high blood pressure stable. It truly is a good friend. But this friend has a problem. I'm sure you've run into it too. We eat one half, and save the other. And the next day, this is what we get. For years, I used to think, well, it's just a little ugly. I'd scrape off the brown part and eat the rest. But then, as I was reading more health materials, a question kept nagging at me, a much more important question. Is this brown color silently turning my good friend into an enemy? Is it harming my heart health? For someone who has had to fight to prevent a stroke and keep his heart beating strong every day, this isn't a small question. It's a critical one. So, I decided I had to find the answer. In today's video, we're going to do a little investigation together. Not to scare anyone, but so that we, the people who care about senior health, can eat with peace of mind and wisdom. We will find the best way to store an avocado to keep all of its nutritional value. And here is my promise. At the end of this video, I won't just show you the most effective method. I will also reveal a very popular storage tip, one that you might be using right now, that could be doing more harm than good. You might be quite surprised. But before we begin, I'd also love to learn from your experience. How are you currently storing the other half of your avocado? Are there any family secrets? Go ahead and share your method in the comments below. I truly want to read and learn from our community. Now, let's start this journey to find the truth together. Before we look at preservation methods, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine you have a new, shiny bicycle. If you leave it out in the yard, in the rain and the sun, what will happen? It will rust, right? This brown color on the avocado. I want you to think of it as the rust of food, just a visual comparison. In reality, food oxidation is a different chemical process from metal rusting, but both make the surface less appealing and reduce quality. And here is the most important part one want to share. When this oxidation process happens, it doesn't just change the color and flavor. The more unfortunate thing is that it's silently stealing the most precious values from within the avocado. Do you know why doctors advise us to eat avocados? They are full of good fats and powerful antioxidants. These substances are like tiny bodyguards that help protect our blood vessels from damage and help our bodies fight against potential inflammation. But when an avocado turns brown, it means that the guardians on the surface have gone to war and sacrificed themselves. This part has lost more antioxidants and vitamins. The inside, which has not been exposed to air, still retains almost all of its value. So when we eat the brown part of the avocado, we are not eating poison. But we are eating a friend who has lost some of its power on the surface, and for those who need to optimize every bit of heart-healthy nutrition, removing this layer is a good choice. This isn't to make us fear avocados. Not. The avocado is still a wonderful friend. But this is so we understand that how we treat that friend after we cut it open will determine whether we receive its full help, or just a depleted fraction of its value. I want to pause here for a moment. I know this might be slightly heavy information. But I believe that knowledge is power. If you found my explanation just now helpful and easy to understand, please comment with the number 1 below to let me know. Just the number 1. It tells me that we are on the same page, sharing the same desire to protect our health. Alright. Thank you. So we understand the why. Now, we'll get to what I think is a much more interesting part, the how. Let's go into the kitchen and begin our little experiment. There's one thing I learned from my years as a teacher: to find the truth, you can't just listen to what others say. You have to test it for yourself, fairly and methodically. And that is exactly what we are going to do right now. I don't see this as a cooking competition. I see this as a small investigation, an important one for the heart health of us all. I have prepared 4 candidates for identical avocado halves. We will treat each candidate differently, and after 24 hours, we will see who is the healthiest. 1. Candidate number 1, the control. First, 1/2 of the avocado will be left alone. We'll put it in a container and store it. In any fair experiment, we always need something called a control. It will show us how bad the situation can get if we don't intervene at all. This is our starting line. 2. Candidate number 2, the aromatic companion. Next is the onion trick. I have to admit, I'm a bit skeptical of this one, but we must be fair. I will cut a fresh slice of onion and place it at the bottom of the container. Then I'll place the avocado half next to it, making sure they don't touch. The theory is that the sulfur compounds from the onion will slow down the oxidation. Will it work, or will it just leave us with an avocado that smells unpleasant? In addition to the smell, if stored in a humid and not cold enough environment, fresh onions can create conditions for bacteria or mold to grow on the surface of the avocado. We will soon find out. 3. Candidate number 3, Grandma's legacy. This method is the most familiar. My mother, my grandmother, they all did this. Using lemon juice. I'll use a small brush to apply a thin, even layer of lemon juice all over the avocado's surface. The acid in the lemon is supposed to turn off the browning enzyme. This is a method full of memories, but will memory beat science? This is also something I'm very curious about. 4. Candidate number 4, the water bath. And finally, the method that, in theory, makes the most sense to me. Blocking the enemy with a physical barrier. I will place the avocado face down in a container with a little bit of clean water, making sure the entire cut surface is submerged. No air, no oxidation. Very simple. But the big question is, will it make the avocado mushy or waterlogged? Is preserving the green color worth sacrificing its creamy texture? This could be an important trade-off. Okay. Now, I have a small question for you. Based on what we've just discussed, which method do you think will win? Please comment with the corresponding number, number 2 for the onion, number 3 for the lemon, and number 4 for the water. There are no right or wrong answers, I'm just curious to know what you think. Feel free to make a prediction. All of our contestants are ready for their 24-hour race. Now we have to do the hardest part, wait. And while we wait, in the next part, I'll share a few other important tips about storing good fats, not just from avocados. And any one of these 3 things could save you from a hospital stay, I'll get to that in a moment. While we wait for our candidates, I'd like to invite you to do something. Let's take a look at a few of the neighbors of these avocados. These are familiar foods in our kitchens, things that also contain good fats, but also silently face the enemy of oxidation every day, perhaps without us even realizing it. 1. The liquid gold friend, olive oil. This is something I use almost every day. A cornerstone for heart health. But have you ever noticed? I always buy olive oil that comes in dark bottles like this one. This isn't a style choice. Olive oil, keep away from light/heat/air, keep in a cool, dark bottle, don't keep it next to the stove. They are public enemy number 1 and can start the oxidation process, which turns the oil rancid and turns the good fats into something bad. That's why one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is keeping their oil right next to the stove. The heat from the stove will slowly destroy the quality of the oil. After opening, try to use it within 2 to 3 months to keep its flavor and health benefits. Keep it in a cool, dark place, folks. That's how we respect our friend. 2. The tiny treasures, nuts. Walnuts, almonds, they are tiny treasures filled with omega-3s and unsaturated fats. But they also contain a lot of oil, and because of that, they are very susceptible to going rancid, which is another form of oxidation. When nuts go rancid, they not only have an unpleasant bitter taste but also lose all their nutritional value, and can even be harmful. So don't leave them in pretty clear jars on your kitchen counter for too long. What's the best way to preserve these treasures? Nuts go rancid easily. Refrigerate/freeze in an airtight container to keep them fresher longer. The cold temperature will slow down the oxidation process considerably. 3. The most important warning, your safety. Now for something extremely important. Something more than just a household tip, it's about safety. Avocados are very good for you, but they contain a moderate amount of vitamin K, about 21 micrograms per 100 g. If you, or a loved one, are taking blood-thinning medication, such as warfarin, eating a lot or changing your avocado intake suddenly can affect how the medication works. Always ask your doctor before making big dietary changes. I am not a doctor. I am just a heart patient trying to learn every day. Therefore, my most sincere advice is this: if you are taking any medication for a chronic condition, especially a heart condition, please talk to your doctor before changing your diet. Ask them, "Doctor, is it okay for me to eat this amount of avocado?" Your safety comes first. I've just shared 3 tips. Which tip did you find the newest or most useful? Please comment with the number 1 if it was about olive oil, number 2 for nuts, and number 3 for the medication warning. Your feedback helps me know what I should share more about in future videos. Thank you very much. Now, I think it's time we get back to our avocado candidates. Alright. 24 hours have passed. This is probably the part we've all been waiting for the most. The race is over. The final verdict for our candidates is about to be delivered. I'm just as curious as you are. Let's examine each one by one, fairly, to see who has stood up to the test of time and air. 1. The verdict for neglect. First, let's see what happens when we do nothing at all. No surprise. Dark brown, spreading everywhere. This is the very picture of the rust we talked about. This is exactly what we are trying to fight to protect our heart health. A clear reminder of our enemy. 2. The verdict for the aromatic companion. Next, the onion trick. Ah, it worked a little, it's better than its neglected friend. There are still brown spots, but fewer. However, there is indeed a very light onion smell attached to it. Maybe it would be fine in guacamole, but for my morning toast, I'm not so sure. A trade-off in taste that I'm not willing to make. 3. The verdict for Grandma's legacy. And here, Grandma's method. It looks very good. You can see, there are almost no brown spots. There's a slight discoloration on the edge, probably because I missed a bit with the lemon juice. Overall, this is a very worthy runner-up. If you have no other choice, this is still a great method. A legacy to be cherished. 4, and the winner is. And now, the final candidate. The water bath. Can simplicity create magic? Wow. Just look at this. It's almost perfectly green. As fresh as if I had just cut it. But the important question is, what about the texture? The very top layer, the one that was in contact with the water, is just a tiny bit softer. It's almost negligible. With a gentle scrape, we have the perfect avocado flesh underneath. There is no doubt. This is our winner. The water bath method. It won for a very simple reason: it completely cut off the enemy's oxygen supply. Still, always keep it in the fridge and use it within 24 to 48 hours for safety and quality. So, we have our answer. I want to ask you a question. Was this result surprising to you? If yes, if you were very surprised, please comment with the number 1 to let me know. If you correctly guessed that the water method would win, please comment with the number 2. I'm very happy to see your numbers appear, because it shows that we have completed this journey of discovery together. Now that we have our weapon, in the final part, we'll talk about how to use it most wisely. There's an old saying I'm very fond of: small hinges swing big doors. The water bath method we just found is the small hinge. A very simple action, it costs nothing and takes only a few seconds. But the door that opens is the door to peace of mind. The door to knowing that every bite of avocado you eat is truly nourishing your body, not silently causing harm. This isn't just a kitchen tip. I want you to see this as an act of self-care. A small action you take today so that your heart can be healthier tomorrow. It's how we take an active role in managing high blood pressure and in stroke prevention, starting with the smallest things in our kitchen. And as I promised at the beginning of the video, there is a popular method that could do more harm than good. In our test, that was the onion trick. Although it had some effect, the risk of leaving it in a moist environment for too long, causing bacteria/mold growth and leaving a strong odor on the butter, is a trade-off that is not worth it. We eat for our health, but also for enjoyment. Knowledge is meant to be shared. But turning knowledge into a daily habit is the hard part. I understand that. So, I took some time this past weekend to prepare a small gift for you. I've written a short guide called, The 7-Day Avocado Breakfast Plan for a Healthy Heart. There's nothing complicated in it, just simple recipes I often use, along with a shopping list for the week, and a few important safety notes. It's completely free. You just need to click on the blue link at the very top of the description below this video to download it instantly. It's a gift from my heart to our community. Finally, I'd like to ask you for one simple favor. If you found this video helpful, if you believe this message is important, please help me by sharing it with a friend or a family member whose health you also care about. A single share from you could help someone else avoid a small mistake every day. Thank you for patiently joining me on this journey of discovery. Remember, if no one else goes, Harold still goes. The journey is 80% truth, and 20% the technique for us to live healthier together. Goodbye, and I'll see you again.